Hey, it's your boy Babyface Kid. And we're back with another episode of The Waking Hate.
Yeah, I'm yelling with the snakes quite chilly, and these are my least favorite kind of intros because
we don't got nothing.
Yeah, wait, if you don't got nothing, you know I ain't got shit to say.
This be fake money on Instagram. Listen, if you hear any extras in the background, because they're not allowed to get on this camera, that will be Light Skin Wave and Cracker Ass James. It's 4 niggas in this room right now, but only 2 niggas on camera, and only 2 niggas will speak the most. Violating crazy.
I want to go ahead and say that over the last week, I've seen my man Cloud Gang several times now jump up on Instagram on Twitter, trying to redeem himself.
You are not pushing P, sir.
I know. I know you can do better than this. First of all, did you see that breakfast thing that he made on that?
Bruh, the nigga, it was finger foods on a cracker.
That tortilla had lived 3 lives already. That tortilla broke by itself.
That was was that a tortilla?
It must have.
I thought that was a Ritz cracker, and he put egg on it. And I was like, why he showing me an egg with Ritz cracker on for breakfast, nigga?
With beans on it and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I know you look like a Honduran.
Nah,
you don't eat beans for breakfast in this country.
It was a cool looking finger food, but it was for breakfast. No, that's not a breakfast meal.
I seen a lot of, you know me, I'm a stickler. A lot of them scallions wasn't cut all the way through. It was still connected.
Then he went and ordered New Jinlin. You know what I'm saying?
I was confused by that because it's still in the takeout container.
Talking about
it's in the takeout container.
Talking about look what I made, son. They gave you a lot of sesame seeds. I never seen so many sesame seeds.
Yeah, that's the sesame chicken. That's not General Tso's.
Oh, you right. Really, they are the same, but they are different because they do make a difference. But look at all that.
Mad fucking seeds on one of them. That's why I never order sesame chicken.
What's up with New Jinlin? And I know that nigga said, I know that nigga that smoked his cigarettes that drops the food off say, what, no tip?
They look like pretzel bites.
You feel me?
What the
That is, you see what I'm talking about? Look at that tortilla, man.
It's a Lunchable.
You feel me?
Look at that tortilla. That looks alright, but that looks
No. Finger food wise, that's okay. My thing was, that's what he was like. That's what he said. Oh, that's breakfast to him.
But that's like
and then he put the raw chicken. He put the raw chicken online. Talking about step your game up, bro. No, nigga, don't put raw chicken online.
What bothered me about this one is here you are clearly at work.
Oh, the rice. Okay, we gotta leave him alone. He can't defend himself. He has to come on here to defend himself.
Yeah, that's right.
We can't do Cloud like that.
That's right. Yeah, he'll have to bring some of that weed infused chicken on here. Try to redeem his name.
We can't do that to Cloud like that.
Try to redeem his name. I guess that's all we got to just get started going into the fucking podcast here. We got Jay Electronica getting his face tattooed.
Oh wee man. That nigga Jay Electronica, nigga, I think I'm Farrakhan, nigga.
I love Farrakhan so much I put his face on my face. I don't understand. Bro, putting somebody else's face on your face is bananas.
I think I'm Martin Luther. Like, you know what it is? What makes it so crazy for me is like, nigga, you're like 40 plus.
Yeah, you're old to be doing this now.
You're
old to be doing this now.
Now I know this sounds crazy. I know niggas get tattoos and all that shit, but like, nigga, like, I don't think Farrakhan want niggas getting tattoos. Because I know it, you know what I mean. Just like the Christian faith, the Islamic faith, they not beat off of like inking your body up. So I would like to think the light skinned nigga with the glasses would be like, my brother, why would you do that to your skin, especially with my name on it?
With my name, while I'm alive and shit, we're not related.
On top of your eyebrow.
Like it's really ridiculous.
Like I get it if he's an inspiration and shit. Like
I don't get it if he's an inspiration. What the fuck? Louis Farrakhan should not be an inspiration.
like if he's but I was gonna go another route. I was like, get a shirt.
Oh yeah. Get a t-shirt.
Get a t-shirt. Go on platforms and talk about it, which he probably. I don't listen to a much of J Electrode.
No.
Because he's not good at making music.
Here's the thing: nobody listens to very much J Electronica because it ain't very much J Electronica to listen to.
And then what's out there?
He's made a dozen songs.
He's got 4 good songs. Then he gave us the album with Hove. Hove couldn't even save it.
Yeah, boy, that was bad. I haven't gone back and listened to it once. Then he dropped a solo project after that.
Oh, he did. Yeah, did you listen?
I tried.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
I tried.
Listen, I liked him back in 2009 when
everybody else did.
When everybody else did, but this is 2022 and I just don't get it. It looked very Tax G-ish to me. It looked like Farrakhan was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Go get them grapes. Go get that mermaid. It looks like idol worship to me. I don't know. Because you're 40, like 8.
I think any age is too old to get another man's name tattooed on your face.
Especially your face. Like, there's some people, they might, like, you know what I mean? Like, there might have been, like, Birdman getting Lil Wayne and vice versa. I even let, like, Drake kind of getting Lil Wayne, even though I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but that's not on your face.
But it's your face, right?
It's not on your face.
It was just, like, forearms.
I think that's different. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I would never mock you if you got dad on your chest. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is a little different.
It's like is your... How you identify as Farrakhan, like.
Yeah, are you Farrakhan now?
And by the way, I literally know people that Farrakhan named, like.
Oh, like as a baby?
Yeah, I could talk to these human beings, and they wouldn't even be like. They were like, I love Farrakhan, but like that nigga they be like, that's my man. So I love him, but like I don't agree with everything he says.
How could you?
You know what I'm saying? So if he was like younger, I might be like, well, you're tripping, but I can understand it. But he's so old that I'm just like, what's up, bro? Like what like, you know what I'm saying? That ain't that is not wavy. I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of something I did want to talk to you about. I was thinking about it the other day. Remember when we was younger and you would see old heads always hating on the new music and you would know it's because they old and they bitter? Yeah. Okay, so you know how, now that we old and bitter, still when I see like the music for the kids now, it's easier for me to like it than when I was actually a kid.
Yeah, for me, I try to go.
Like it's easier for me to enjoy it now because they're not. I just see it now as being what it is, which is kids doing what they're gonna do. Just, you know what I mean? Just being kids,
because that's how it always was.
Doing the new cycle, right? But like now that I'm looking down at them as kids, as opposed to like looking up at them as like the next generation up and coming or whatever. I can forgive them a lot more bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
because they're also kids.
Right, because I can see that. It's not like everybody knows, you know, rappers are not supposed to be role models and shit, but they kind of are. When you're a kid, when you're younger,
you look up to them. I don't know if they're role models, right? But you look up to them.
That's what I mean. You look up to them in a way. You know they're not supposed to be role models. You know they're not role models, but you look up to them in a way. But now that you really are released from that fully, you know what I'm saying? Like now I'm fully released from that. I can't look up to a Uzi Vert. I literally am taller than him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. I could just let him do whatever bullshit he want to do and still be a fan because he don't. I'm never gonna feel like he represents me. You know, I think what I'm saying is I'm more confused than ever how so many old heads are bitter when the culture changes. Because now that I'm seeing it happen to me, it really just makes it easier to just watch the next generation. You know
I'm not bitter because I know, like you, because I know there's gonna be guys that I like. The raps don't go away. It's a myth that these niggas don't rap no more. It's a fucking myth. It's a myth that was spread. Oh, these niggas can't spit. No, it's a lie, old nigga.
Yeah, we've seen it get exposed 2 or 3 times now.
You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, some of the guys that you said that was real nice when you go back and listen to them 80s raps, we were like, bro, we was like, boo.
Yeah, what they doing? Hippity hop.
Yeah, boo. Them niggas wasn't really rapping that good, nigga. These niggas wasn't that technical. These niggas wasn't doing double entendres. They wasn't punching.
You know what I was listening to the other night was fucking Skilo.
Oh, okay. I kind of remember that, yeah.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl. If I did, I would call her. That's who was hot to y'all, bro. Like, he was doing it.
Yeah. He had a message.
Word. Him, and then next up on that YouTube playlist was Biz Markie. You know what I'm saying? And
you know, rest in peace, Biz Markie. But you know, to come to find out, he wasn't writing. And that was what he was rapping?
Yeah, those were the best raps money could buy. Those were the best raps money could buy at the time.
You feel me? Like, hey. Then Big Daddy gets on, you find out Big Daddy Kane was, and he's spitting the good raps. So he was giving you that watered...
Everything, the leftovers.
He was giving you that leftovers. It's like, come on, man.
You know, I understand that I'm about to talk about a legend here, but KRS-One,
nigga,
boring. That shit is boring.
What Nelly say?
What did Nelly say?
What Nelly say? How this old nigga gonna tell me what's real hip hop? Nah, I put a twist on it. Yeah. Every generation gonna have gatekeepers. I'm just saying that now that I'm at that age, gatekeepers are needed though.
I don't see how you could be the bitter old salty nigga. You know what I'm saying? The kids these days are weirdos. I say that, but I won't say it like that. These kids these days is weirdos. You know what I mean? Like they kids.
Yo, these niggas are strange.
The Freedom Convoy, I think they're calling it in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen anything about this, you can look this up.
Oh Canada, that's all I know. I don't know the rest. I'm American.
Of the anthem?
Yeah,
come on now. No, I don't make it past the first 2 fucking...
That's all I know.
Well, yeah, because at that point, it's fully sunk in on me that hockey is on TV, and I change it. Freedom Convoy, yeah, so they are protesting the mask mandates or vaccine mandates or whatever in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And they
did that like a week or 2 ago on the Capitol, was it the Capitol in America?
Yeah, they're down in DC here.
I laughed at that.
This is in Ottawa, I think is where they shit is. Yeah, Ottawa. They have been parked up out front of the nation's capital, just honking horns on fucking big rigs.
But that's actually kind of funny. It's really actually kind of funny because it's annoying.
Well, the thing is that people like live there, so there's a lot of like people are just not having it now.
Yeah, because it's annoying. Imagine, don't. Fight the mask, nigga. If you don't get the fuck on,
yeah, I got work in the morning.
don't wear the shit and just, you know what I mean? If you don't want to get the fucking vaccine, keep it fucking pushing. Well,
then they go on the highway.
Fucking.
I seen an article just yesterday that said that there's actually a strong American presence there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No surprise.
No surprise.
No surprise that they would go to Canada and protest for.
Because we would like, go on, get the fuck on.
Now I ain't gonna hold you. While they over there, we should hurry up and build a wall, some type of fence, and just keep them over there.
Is that the wall we should build? Should we really build it up north?
Behind them anytime they leave. Anytime you get enough of those motherfuckers together and they go to a country, lock it off. Yeah, I just thought that was fuck. On the one hand, it's hater shit, and I kind of want to salute it. Just going outside of somebody's building and laying up on your horn like that is fucking bananas. Like that shit, it's kind of dope. But doing it to protest vaccines is wild ass.
I don't get it, bro. Like,
yeah, I would like it more if it was people that I agree with doing this to people I disagree with. But you know.
Especially if this is like the only thing that you ever protested in your life, which I know it is.
Yeah, definitely is.
Fuck up my face.
Yeah, and again, if I lived there, I'd be throwing shit out the window at you, like.
Especially how cold Canada is, and you talk about don't get no vaccinations, nigga. What?
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
It's flu season for like 9 months out of the year.
Yeah, you crazy?
Like, yeah. I guess they're just kind of making it. They're taking a little bit of the heat off of us in terms of like the ignorance factor. I think.
I didn't know that about that today.
Like. I don't like when other countries look down on us like we have a monopoly on ignorance.
I've noticed that lately. Canada's been giving it up lately with the ignorance. Like
they all have them, brother. The UK, the whole European Union, they're doing their own shit over there too. They just try and make us look like we the only crazy ones. You know what I'm saying? Because their version of The Office be a little bit more clever.
Yeah.
And then we got the Whoopi Goldberg. I think you're pulling up the Whoopi Goldberg.
This should be an interesting bag.
Yeah, do you want to gloss over anything else that we don't really care about before we get into this? Because I feel like from here it's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Rihanna got pregnant by A$AP Rocky. That's a thing. That's a thing that happens.
News. We don't like that A$AP Rocky did it because it's Riri. I'm not even mad that it's A$AP. It could have been any human. It could have been the janitor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could have been any man. Like, oh damn, he was able to procreate with you. Fuck, I knew you was smashing, but you let him shoot it up.
Yeah. Well, Rihanna is weirdly like a sex icon that nobody wanted her to actually be having sex with nobody. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a Kim Kardashian where it's like you've seen her getting fucked on camera and shit. She has a more like hardcore kind of sex icon status or whatever. Rihanna's like a sex symbol that's not really like hardcore P and V kind of fucking sex symbol. You know what I mean? It's more of like a, people like to idolize her and shit like that. Yeah. So you don't want to. Getting pregnant is a grossly human thing to do for somebody that we like to look at as being so high above your average human.
You feel me? I would have been mad if it was Drake. I would have been mad if it was Chris Brown. I would have been mad if it was the mogul that she was with. Niggas just hate dark-skinned niggas, and A$AP Rocky's a dark-skinned nigga. I get it.
Well, part of the hate for him about this shit is that they say he's disrespectful to black women and dark-skinned women and shit.
I think he proved that he's not.
Well, Rihanna's not that dog.
No, but dark-skinned women, black women. At this point, he proved that he's not, right? He came back to the hood.
I don't know about that because you don't have to like respect somebody as a person or like anything like that in order to get them pregnant, right? You just got to come in them. So Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? By that token, a white man with a fucking half black baby could never be racist. But we got a whole Thomas Jefferson in all the history books.
I hear you and stuff. I mean, but he had, you know what I mean? He was fucking white bitches. People fuck white bitches, but look what he had a kid with. Look who he decided to have a child with. A black queen. Happy Black History Month.
We'll see, but I mean, again, people will make the point that it's not just any black woman, though, right? It's Rihanna, so it's, you know, it's.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it with the GOAT.
I'm with you. I'm just saying it. I do agree with the point that by getting a black woman pregnant, you prove nothing about whether or not you're a racist. So you have internalized anti-blackness. It proves nothing to me.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
On that front.
I mean, you're right. I'm just giving him a leg.
I'm
just giving him a leg because whatever. Like, I don't know.
You're not the first one to give him a leg. He was in them showers. Slipping and sliding.
What's the shit with Ye and Chem? I don't remember. Light skin wave. What was that?
She was calling him a bad father or something like that. Something how he's crazy.
Oh, that Kanye West has not been a good co-parent with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, this is a nigga that's known for his childish antics. So I wouldn't expect him to be a responsible co-parent. I wouldn't expect him to be a responsible parent. I ain't gonna hold you. I wouldn't expect him to be a parent.
I don't care about the subject. I don't care about these two. Well, I don't care about this crazy billionaire and this scoop multi-millionaire and their marital problems with their children. I don't care.
See, this is what I mean. Like, Kanye West was never a role model of mine, but as a kid, like, Kanye West was very important to me. His music was important to me. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things he was saying was important to me. Now, I hate to think how I would feel about this if I was still 16 or 17 and he had turned into who he is today.
You might get emotional about that.
Yeah, it would have bothered me. I'd have been so fucking mad. You know what I'm saying? I'd have felt betrayed and shit. He's a fucking clown. You know what I'm saying? Grown man acting up. Like,
oh man.
His wife left him. She's dating a fucking dude that looks like a sock puppet. But he can't just live with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure he's cutting up being a fool about custody and all types of shit. He's a grown ass kid.
Oh man. Oh.
Hey. All right, so now we can move on.
No. Let's go to Boba Fett.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go to. So, the last 2 episodes of Boba Fett have dropped back to back. Of course they do. I don't know why I had to express that, but we didn't talk about it last week.
Yeah.
It should have been called Mando. It should have been.
That's right.
They should have put a pause on the Boba Fett and say, "Hey, we're gonna put 2 new episodes on fucking The Mandalorian."
Right. This is the Ecuadorian season 3.
No, it's the Dominican.
I went with Dominican, but then I think that dude actually is South American. And Ecuadorian got the right number of syllables. I'm going with Ecuadorian from now on.
You know, you can find one of him in DR.
They're all the same everywhere.
On the resort, selling timeshares or something.
They're all mostly the same everywhere. I mean, not for nothing. You can find them all the way from the top of Mexico down to the bottom of Chile. There's some of them in Alaska, believe it or not.
And Cuba.
Yeah, a bunch of them run around in the Philippines. I think I seen one of him in Pakistan.
Oh, you know how many Pedros know? I know a lot of Pedros.
Pedro Pascal is Chilean. It's Ecuadorian for sure. We're going with the Ecuadorian now. It's from Chile. Yeah. So they completely stopped doing Boba Fett, which was a good idea because that show sucked. And now they're giving us episodes of the Ecuadorian season 3, and I love it. It's a way better show than Boba Fett was.
I disagree.
the last 2 episodes have been better than the first 4 episodes.
But that's not why I disagree. Yes, the 2 episodes are shared universe. It's dope. I said that. I've been saying. Probably like the concept of a shared universe, I think they actually have done better than a lot of shows have done. It annoys me because I don't see Mando at Boba Fett at all. See, I'm saying Mando so much because this shit was about fucking Mando though.
It's not about Boba Fett.
This shit is called the Book of Boba Fett. Nigga, it's 2 chapters on fucking Mando. There's only 7 chapters in the book.
So far, there's been 6 episodes. 2 of them have been about the Mandalorian. So that means that one full third of the Book of Boba Fett does not have him in it. And it's the best third. It's the best part. It's the best part.
Like,
the show sucks. It's bad. It's bad, and I like it still because it is what it is.
I'm watching it. I'm tapped in. I do enjoy it, but like
I've said it before. I hate how they make me enjoy bad shit.
You know what I
They're
mean?
making me enjoy something that's.
It might have been 3 weeks ago. I was like, nah, Boba Fett's dope. And you're like, nah, bruh. We're here now, and I'm like, Mando is the shit, and Boba Fett sucks. The show sucks.
That's what it is. Even the writers realized that Boba Fett sucks. They didn't want to keep on writing it, so they just switched back to writing. They just switched back to writing Ecuadorian,
like,
and I condone it. I approve.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
We don't need to see Boba Fett corny ass story no more. He used to do nothing. He used to always wear the helmet and never talk.
Yeah.
Now he always talks
and say a whole lot of nothing.
and never wears.
Don't
the
nobody
helmet.
want to hear him talk. Don't nobody want to do no business with him. No nothing. There was a reason why he was in the desert, because only them desert niggas wanted to listen to him.
Because they didn't speak the same language and shit. If they knew how bad of an actor he was, if they spoke the same language to realize how bad his acting was, they wanted to get off screen too.
The fuck. Now, the last episode had Luke Skywalker in it, not the real one because that nigga dead, but the guy that they got playing in the CGI is fantastic.
Yeah, they did like some kind of face capture from.
Yeah, they did some Paul Walker.
Young,
they did some Paul Walker shit.
Mark Hamill, but then they aged him up a
R.P.
little
Mark
bit.
Hamill. R.P. Mark Hamill.
They put him in the actor Mark Hamill.
Whatever. Is he so old? I thought he was dead.
Now earlier, I thought he was dead because they killed him in that last.
No, Layla died. Layla died.
And they did it with Carrie Fisher.
Oh, you know what I fucked up on?
Carrie Fisher is dead.
My fault. I got to correct this. I'm sorry. Someone had to correct me. Louis Anderson was in Coming America too. I did forget. The movie was so bad that it skipped my head, but when I had to like retrace it, I did see him. He did have a McDowell's. Anyway, let's go back.
Damn, really?
Yeah, he wasn't that. The movie sucked.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I didn't remember that either. The
movie sucked so bad. I forgot.
Yeah, and it was like hard to pay attention to.
Yeah, it was like
because it wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, it was like. But once I seen it in the comments, I was like, oh shit, damn.
I'll have to go back and check because I can't even remember.
So I apologize on that little like misinformation. But Mark Hamill, Layla died.
Yeah, that's what. Right. So Carrie Fisher was dead when they did it with her in the movie. That's so. Earlier, I thought Mark Hamill was dead.
Y'all should have saw light skin Wade though. He's like, he's not dead.
Because I just did it fucking 20 minutes ago. I just said he was dead. He's not dead. But they like made him an age that he never was in movies at. Like he was like Luke Skywalker when he was young, and then he was Luke Skywalker when he was old. And he did like the voice of the Joker in between, but he wasn't in no movies when he was like 30 something. Yeah. And they like tried to make him, I guess, like 30 now in the shit.
Was that 30? I probably would have said like 20.
Late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. That's
but he's not. The point is that he's older than he was last time you saw him in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. But he's not as old as he is.
And, you know, it reminded me of like what like I forgot the time frame we were in watching it. I was like, what time frame were we in? Like you know, you lose like a little bit, and I was like, okay, this reminded me.
But that's not your fault. Star Wars sucks for that. What they did when they made that original when they made the sequel trilogy, the prequel, the prequels when we was kids, when they made episode 1 through 3, they created a problem that they would never ever be able to solve, and we just have been dealing with it ever since. And it's why all of Star Wars actually low-key sucks, because things are too close together.
When they made but far apart.
When they made the original Star Wars, they say Clone Wars one time, right? There's something about Ben Kenobi, and he goes, "Oh, he was in the Clone Wars," and that's it. Watching the original Star Wars movies, you would never know that the Clone Wars is a big fucking deal that just fucking happened. It just happened.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago. Like it's barely over.
Yeah.
And people barely remember it. Like it's distant history. People run around talking about the Jedi. That's just an ancient myth. They're not real.
No.
15 years ago, they were everywhere. They were a huge part of the political system. They played a huge role in this war that y'all forgot about. So anytime you try to like get a feeling for like what the time frame is in Star Wars, it just doesn't work because there's not one.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers anything. Like,
I was watching this shit. What's the girl? What's I forgot her fucking name. The bitch with the hair. She said, "Yeah, just like your daddy." I'm like, why the fuck did she just say, "Just like your daddy"? Then I was like, oh shit, she was cool with Anakin.
Oh, she's one of the worst. She's one of the worst defenders.
I was like,
in between the second and third movie, this bitch is a whole character that nobody talks about in the third movie.
It's Rosie. What's her name? Rosie O'Dawson. Is it
Rosie O'Dawson?
Is it Rosie O'Dawson?
Rosie O'Dawson is like a crazy mashup human being. There's a mix between a giant white lesbian and this sexy Latina.
What's her name?
Rosario Dawson.
I was close.
Rosie O'Dawson is Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that Rosario Dawson character, she don't fit in the timeline at all.
I was just looking at her, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, you knew this nigga daddy? Like, oh.
Yeah, no, she was his whole Padawan.
Yeah, it just, like, but it don't make sense in this shit, because she's old, and we don't see her like that, and then you gotta watch the fucking,
you gotta watch the cartoon.
The cartoon.
Which is good, but it's also long as fuck.
The cartoons are better than
any of this shit. Oh, but that does bring me to the actual only good part of this week's episode. The only good part of this show, by and large, my nigga Cad Bane is back, son.
Nigga.
You can't kill this guy, son.
Nigga.
Cad Bane is the illest introduction from the 3D cartoons up till now. My favorite character that they've introduced.
He's killed it in every part that he's been in the cartoons. He's killed it, and he killed it in this shit too.
He's a great villain. Like, he's like one of my favorite villains.
He's a bad man.
He's just a wild motherfucker, man. Then I was soup when he showed up in fucking live action form. Even though I'm not crazy about how they did his like the tubes in his face.
I was fine with him. I was fine with it because I knew they couldn't. Like he looked so crazy. There's no way you could really make that perfect.
Yeah, I just wanted them to make them bigger. They're like, I feel like they're too small
you
in a live action
nigga. You
shit.
nitpicking, but that's fine. You can nitpick.
That's my favorite character. Man. I fucking love Cad Bane, bro. That motherfucker is cool.
He'll put John Wick down. Quote me.
You shooting holes in Jedis, man. Yeah, that shit had me hyped when he showed up. I said, "Oh shit, my boy!"
All right, and I guess now we can go into some serious notes.
Yeah, which I don't know. Where do you want to start with drugs or anti-Semitism?
Drugs.
All right. There have been so far 4 arrests in the, I guess, an ongoing investigation surrounding the overdose death of Michael K. Williams a couple months ago.
Omar
from The Wire. We talked about it when he did pass. I think we spent a good amount of time talking about.
Yeah, we sure did.
How influential he was on The Wire. How many times after that they had him play a gay character on television. We spent a while talking about Michael K. Williams. A Brooklyn man was charged on Wednesday with selling a deadly dose of fentanyl-laced heroin to actor Michael K. Williams, who was best known for his portrayal of gay stick-up man Omar Little in his television series The Wire. Excuse me. Man was charged and 3 others were accused of being part of a drug trafficking crew that continued to sell the drug even after knowing that it killed Mr. Williams. Operating in broad daylight amid apartment buildings in Brooklyn and Manhattan, according to a criminal complaint. Well, one thing I will say is that people shooting up dope in broad daylight, it has made a serious reemergence in the city since fucking COVID.
Yes. Because there ain't no cops.
Even when the cops are there, it better be vagrants and shit a lot of the time. Like, so it's bums. They don't want to lock up the bum.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, so they got him on camera.
Catching plays?
Yeah.
Yeah, catching plays on camera.
Shit. So this kind of, I mean, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of ways to go with this.
I don't think they're charged for murder. If I remember, they're charged for what? Conspiracy to sell narcotics. So I don't. Like that could be that could be,
yeah, go to that.
If I believe it was conspiracy to narcotics, and I feel like that can mean a lot.
Let's see, yeah, you have to keep going down there.
So,
all right, well, yes, go see if you can't find what they were charged with. I think it was in the New York Times one, the first one that you was looking at.
Because when I read it, I felt like when I read it,
there's a CNN one that might have it.
It was conspiracy to narcotics. I don't think actually for the murder, but that could ring into a murder somehow. Because you know how conspiracy works.
All 4 were charged with 1 count of narcotics conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Cartagena was also accused of causing Miss Williams' death in connection with the conspiracy.
Yeah, okay, so.
A lawyer for him could not immediately be identified. Oh, no. He was arrested in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
And is expected to be brought to court tomorrow. Okay, so maybe he does have a lawyer, and they actually just couldn't locate him. Because if he's going with a public defender for this shit,
They're going to knock his head off?
Oh, my God.
They're going to knock his head off.
Shit, he better start digging his own hole underneath the jail. Anyway, so Chem immediately responded to this or reacted to this with he doesn't feel like people should go to jail for selling drugs.
No, I didn't say that. I'm fine with him going to jail for drugs. I don't always agree when they get charged for the murder. I feel like now it depends. It depends if you like. It depends if you're making the dog food, if you're cooking the crack. That could vary. Like, you know what I mean. But if you selling, if you getting the bundles and selling the bundles, you're not knowing what you're just selling, and that person's just buying. It's all wrong. You're wrong for selling the bundles. That person's wrong for buying. If I didn't know I was serving something that could take somebody out, I just don't believe he should be charged for that murder. The person was gonna he was gonna go get drugs regardless.
Well, the allegations say that they continued to sell that batch after knowing that it killed Michael K. Williams.
And that's a thing. That could also be tricky because it's gonna sound bad and it's wrong, but you're gonna keep serving because you're gonna.
Here's the thing: it didn't kill every fucking fiend that got it.
You see what I'm saying?
If it killed every fiend that got it,
but it's wrong. It's already wrong when you put it in his hands. It's wrong that he kept selling it. To me, it's like gray area because I don't always agree because
it could be pure dope. One person could OD on it. That doesn't mean everybody's gonna OD on it. Do I have to flush the pure dope because somebody OD?
And then what?
I don't know. Where do we draw the line now with the fentanyl? It's the fentanyl thing is what makes it hairy to me because the idea is that somebody's intentionally killing people by putting the fentanyl in it. Yeah. But they're just trying to make bad dope into good dope. Yeah. We've talked about this on the pod before. Like I've matter of fact, I was dying on a fentanyl hill in here once, trying to say like the sensationalization of fentanyl has everything to do with the white heroin epidemic and making heroin now has to not be so bad because now white folks are fucking hooked on it. And so this thing with fentanyl, demonizing the fentanyl, is another way of trying to redirect the focus onto black street dealers who are lacing things with fentanyl and separate that from the white kids who sell pills to each other and shit like that.
Drugs are gonna be laced. Another thing is like, R.I.P. Michael K. White, but the nigga was putting something that wasn't good for his body in his body. Now I don't know what was going on in his life. I'm not trying to like do a victim blame thing. It's just but you see what I'm saying? Like you putting something in your body that ain't.
I see exactly what you're saying.
That ain't right. Now you know what I mean. So it's like, because I'm trying to be empathetic. I'm trying to be sensitive. A man lost his life, so I'm not trying to do a victim blame.
Nobody shoots up heroin and doesn't know that you can OD and die from heroin. Part of it is an assumed risk thing. It's the same reason why if you get fucking lung cancer, you can't go and sue the cigarette company.
Now for serving drugs all day, lock them up. We lost a goat. Lock them up. I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was boom. Now, once again, no one tries to kill their fiends. Because there's no point to sell drugs if you're.
I can't sell drugs no more.
I can't sell drugs no more.
I killed all my clientele.
But there is a thing is if your batch is killing people and you just don't stop serving the batch. Now, you know what I mean? So I get that point of view. Like, bro, your batch killed somebody and it was an important person. You still serve the batch. Okay, so I might be contradicting myself still a little bit because that might have made me slow down. I was like, oh shit. My batch killed who? Well, now we gotta get this shit off the streets.
I think there's a Breaking Bad episode or something like that where they kill somebody and then they say it's the drugs that did it and see what happens. And then the fiends come out crazy for their drug because they're like, oh, it's that strong. It's killing
people. That's the pack that they want.
Even more. Ooh. So it's not like don't get it off the streets, get it on the streets even more.
That's the pack that they want. And again, it was some fiends that was out there that was getting this same package and getting high as a motherfucker and then coming back and copping again and didn't OD.
It's sad.
It's
sad, and I'm not gonna knock anybody that feels like they should be arrested for even like. I don't think they should be held accountable for any murder or manslaughter or anything like that. That's all. But you know what I mean. I'm okay with we're gonna put you away because we got you. We seen the pictures. Y'all busting hand in hand on a New York City street.
It was traffic cameras.
You know what I mean?
They got them dead to right on video. So it's not a question of whether or not they sold heroin. is be careful with these fucking stories with fentanyl, man. When you see that, there's a reason they keep pushing this fucking fentanyl agenda. The drug fentanyl is not new. Putting the drug fentanyl in dope to make it dopier is not new.
It's vicious though. It's a vicious game. The drug game is nasty though. I'm not gonna act like it's not nasty.
But why is this?
It's nasty work.
But why the fentanyl stories are all new? That's what I'm saying. It's the reason why fentanyl is fucking front and center all the time now. And for those of y'all that read this bullshit and believe this bullshit, where if you touch fentanyl with your fingertip, you're gonna overdose and die. I'm sorry, but I don't want to say do your own research, but do your own research a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these stories where fentanyl residue is left on the surface and somebody touches it and they go in their body gets fucked up. They go into
go into a diabetic a coma.
ODing, foaming at the mouth. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
But once again, I don't wish jail on nobody. But you know what I mean. They catching people. They doing their job finally. I don't know if I'm supposed to be rooting for this at all or not. Because I don't like the police, but I also don't like that Michael K. White died. So. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I mean, the city fucking sucks, right? Like, it's, these guys are dropping the bucket right now, man. Everybody's high on coke. I mean, everybody's high on heroin in that city. And I'm starting to miss when more of them was doing crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine, man, ain't no thing. Bubbles in y'all cookies. Y'all niggas some rookies.
No, it's a bad situation all around.
All around. That's the
message. Buying drugs, using drugs,
that's
selling
the message
drugs.
that we want to leave. The drug game is awful. Don't get involved in it in any fucking way.
Yeah.
So tell your drug dealer friends stop selling drugs, and tell your addict friends stop being addicts.
That's right. Because if you can sell drugs, you know what else you can do? Forex from your home. Let me get you in on the next big crypto boom.
Okay.
Loop ring.
Oh man.
Alright, we got Whoopi Goldberg.
We can go on to Whoopi Goldberg.
And the Jews.
Yes, and the Jews.
Whoopi and the Jews.
Now, we had a semi-similar conversation maybe like a year ago with Nick Cannon. Similar, but very different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of that, but I don't want to go back to that point. So, yeah, let's play the video if we can.
I think this is this a...
Oh, technical difficulties.
Oh, this is the original video. That's crazy. She wore almost the exact same thing to apologize. And almost, but not quite the exact same thing.
Holocaust isn't about.
They made her put the same fit on?
Let's be truthful about it, because...
Oh, did they cut it and then go back on air and then made her apologize? That's probably what they made her do.
Whoopi Goldberg became the hot topic.
My words upset so many people, which was never...
No, this is not. They didn't upset that many people. I promise.
People was mad, bro. Will could shut.
People had opinions. It's not the same as being mad. These days we do this a lot.
People were mad though.
These days we do this a lot. I think a lot of people had opinions. I don't know how many people were mad.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. It's about a different race. But it's not about race. It's not about race, because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy.
But it's not about race. But these are two white groups of people. How do we have to see them as white men? But you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, Italian, everybody eats each other.
Okay, so Whoopi has since come out with an apology, and she says, on today's show, I said the Holocaust is not about race, but about man's humanity to man. I should have said it's about both. As Jonathan Greenblatt from the Anti-Defamation League shared, the Holocaust was about the Nazis' systematic annihilation of the Jewish people, who they deemed to be an inferior race. I stand corrected. The Jewish people...
Who they deemed? Hold on a minute. Now, if we're letting Nazis define race...
Yeah, you're letting... Yeah.
If we're letting Nazis define race, then what other things do I have to let Nazis tell me?
I believe...
In other words, if I'm working off the Nazi definition of race, I might as well be working off the Nazi definition of what race sucks.
And I believe what... I think Peter Rosenberg's father said, hey, y'all are quoting Hitler. And if you're quoting Hitler, we're not even human beings.
Right. Yeah. I'm not gonna. He's something along the lines that he's not gonna engage in a conversation on the basis of a Hitler quote. That's outside of what he was willing to talk about in his statement. Where he kind of came down on the side of defending Whoopi, but that also makes sense because of. I mean, not for nothing, look at his son. He obviously has some nigga love in him already. But you see, you've seen a couple of Jews kind of come out with that, or a couple of Jewish thought leaders or whatever come out with that kind of expression where they agree that Jewish is not a race. Yeah. Because it's not. But it also kind of is. It is tricky. And I'll give both sides that.
I understand it to a point because you can maybe say, "Hey, I'm Jewish, and I know that means that you're from a part of Germany." If you know what I'm saying, like I know what you like. But that's more like maybe like an ethnic thing, a cultural thing, not necessarily race. But then, like, you know what I mean, But I understand how it could, there can be some confusion because I remember in school there was kids that would kind of be like, yeah, I'm Jewish, but I always thought that was kind of like, why did you hit me with, hey, you're Jewish, when asked what you were.
Well, because Jews do have a history of not being treated as regular whites in this country. Okay. But they also have a history of being treated as regular whites in this country.
Like to me, I feel like if this is just an example. I don't know if I came out and said, hey, yeah, well, what's chili? And I don't know if you prescribe to atheists. I don't know if that's actually correct. But if I just said he was atheist, I don't know if that's maybe I'm fucking it up. Somebody probably look at me and be like, nigga, that nigga is Puerto Rican.
Yeah. There is something about when I ask what you are, I'm trying to find out what you look like. You know what I'm saying? Like there is something to that where you're like if somebody's telling you a story where you're like, yeah, I seen this dude asking for change, and you go, well, what kind of dude? Like, a homeless dude. Motherfucker, I know that because he was asking for change. Was he white?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying.
So that's why I'm like, yo, and like when I was in school, I don't know what it is, and we had a very big Jewish influence in our system, and I remember people like teachers and like, hey, like, I don't know why, but I remember specifically saying, hey, Judaism isn't a race. So it was kind of like a thing. So I knew it wasn't like, I was like, and I know it, what am I trying to say? I understand that shit. I want to say the right thing. It's just one of those things where, like, I guess it just confuses me. Like, it just seems like y'all are being extra upset. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all can be upset. But I understand why y'all are upset. But y'all, technically are not. And I'm pretty sure the teachers throughout teaching wouldn't express that if it wasn't true, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, but there's also, this also is constantly a problem when it comes to race and racism, no matter what you're talking about, because you are trying to rationalize a fallacy.
Yeah.
Anytime you talk about race and you're trying to categorize it or like intellectualize it like this, you're gonna run into the same problem, which is that race is not a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're trying to do is say what imaginary category this thing falls into.
Mm-hmm.
But being that it's not a real thing in the first place, you know what I mean? It's always going to be hard to say definitively, is it a, you know what I'm saying? Is Jewish a race? Well, what's a race? Well, a race actually is whatever is convenient to a racist at the time for it to be. Right? Again, Jewish was a race to Germans.
Oh, yeah.
It's a race to some white Americans, but not other white Americans. Is Jewish a race to Brazilians? I don't know. But Brazilians got whole different races for different shades of brown.
Brown, yeah. And I went back to that. I was like, what? Is this more of like religious hate? Was it more of like, is this a classism? Is it classism? Is it more religious? Like,
right, and that's why we call it anti-Semitism when it's Jews and not just racism. But even anti-Semitism is somewhat of a misnomer because not all Jews are Semitic. Semitic is more a race than Jewish is. But Jews are not all Semitic, right? You got Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews, right? Russian Jews, European Jews, Middle Eastern Jews. Those things, again, Middle Eastern we consider a race. Russian we consider kind of a race, but also white.
Y'all are whites.
Because it's all fucking made up in the first place.
Yeah.
So to say that she's wrong,
I just can't. But
I wouldn't say that she's right.
I hear you on that. See, so there's some of my points for it is the reason why I get why people are mad is because when so many people die, you kind of just got to be like, all right, like that was my thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's millions and it lasted like a decade plus. So there's a hey, you know what I mean? When it's that, you just gotta kind of like, you gotta understand, yeah, people are gonna be outraged, and I get why it could feel like a race thing. You know what I mean? It's kind so that's why I'm like, that's why like when people are like, oh, she's been suspended for 2 weeks, yeah, just take that L real quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't dot your I's. Like, you didn't dot your I's, you didn't dot your T's. Just like I'm on here talking. I don't dot everything. So if I got to wear something, sometimes you just got to wear some shit. But I also don't like how she got railroaded. Like, I seen a lot of people railroading her, and I thought that was whack.
Yeah, I don't think that she should have gotten suspended. I think that what happens is, like you bring up a good point, which is that, yeah, anytime you're talking about a sensitive topic, people are going to be sensitive. It's easy to say the wrong thing, so you got to be extra careful when you're talking about a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we really are...
Because 2 weeks ain't shit. That's my point. 2 weeks ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So just, like, I'll be mad, but all right, let me take this L real quick. Like, but 2 weeks out of work is yeah, but she Whoopi. Like,
it's not. I'm just saying.
She bred it up.
It would be nothing. It'd be nothing.
She bred it up. You feel me?
Yeah, but somebody telling you that you can't go into work for 2 weeks because some shit that you said.
Yeah.
When you weren't wrong.
Yeah. By definition, actually.
That shit would rub me the wrong way.
Yeah. And once again, she was not trying to lessen the Holocaust. By the way, that was another thing I saw people doing. And I was like, bro, she didn't she didn't lessen the Holocaust in any way.
Well, see, that's where I'm going with this. That's the problem. The problem is that now we've come to a point whereby anytime you bring up a sensitive topic, knowing that it is a sensitive issue, people don't wait to see if you said the wrong thing. They find the wrong thing in what you said, and I think that's what happened here, because nowhere in there is she saying that the Holocaust wasn't actually that bad since it wasn't about racism.
Mm-hmm.
She's not making a comparison between American racism and the Holocaust. But because she's a black woman talking about the Holocaust, that's what people want to hear, and they'll find it in there. It's settings for this, and they'll find it in there.
Damn, not on Black History Month.
No matter what she said. So that for that, I'm mad for her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad for her a little bit because yes, it's easy to say the wrong thing about the Holocaust, but we got to a point now whereby anything you say about the Holocaust is the wrong thing.
Yeah. So
They're trying to drag her too. Look.
yeah, I know they always try.
Look what they.
Where do they find this?
Whoopi Goldberg recipe: Jewish American princess fried chicken.
That was the name of the recipe.
Wow, that's crazy.
See, so now they're fitting it into a narrative where now now she's an anti-Semitic black woman now.
And then I also seen the other thing where people was like, well, what if I said the slavery wasn't about race? Which to me, I was like, why? First off, what are we doing here?
You'd be wrong, yeah.
Because that's completely loud and wrong. But you're trying like how you that loud and wrong about that point, but you're trying to be right about this point. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the thing, anytime they start bringing slavery into it, they don't care about being right anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who says, well, what if I said slavery wasn't about race? You don't care about this conversation. You don't care about Jews or the Holocaust or anything like that.
Goofy ass Michael Rappaport.
Right, Michael Rappaport
with your pimple ass mouth.
Right, Michael Rappaport loves to do this because he is preoccupied with the anti-black racism that lives in his mind 24/7.
That's why I'm glad somebody snowballed that nigga. Pause.
Michael Rappaport and people like him will turn any conversation into an opportunity to point out the hypocrisy of black people wanting equal rights in this country. You know what I'm saying? Like that preoccupation, it has nothing to do with what Whoopi Goldberg said about Jews. It's you know, it's like people that see Jesus Christ in burnt toast. You know what I'm saying?
It's in my head, I can see it.
It don't happen to anybody that doesn't think about Jesus all the time. You know, it's like when
that was funny. You're a funny guy, bro.
When something is on your mind all the time, then you see it everywhere. Yeah. You know, it's like how Mike Pence.
My friends are funny, bro.
Mike Pence thinks that everything in America is turning little kids gay because he is gay. You know what I mean? Like when you're preoccupied with shit like that, you see it everywhere.
Oh man. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that's it.
Not bad. I think we. You know what I mean? I think we walked into that a lot safer than I thought I was gonna walk safe.
Well, I mean, it's not like we had to talk about Israel and all that. You know, that's where shit get a little bit dicey. You know? Shit start getting different.
Can I say free Palestine? Is that wrong? I
mean, it depends on who you ask. You wouldn't want to be an anti-Semite or maybe a racist. I don't know. I don't know. Depending on whether or not Jews are right, they're not. You know, I mean, some of this does come from like theoretically Jews don't convert, right? Jews don't proselytize.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, all of the Jews alive have a Jewish mother, which would kind of make them like biologically all related, which would kind of make them a race.
Yeah.
But again, that's not actually what makes a race a race. Right? It's just how people look on the surface, which makes a race a race. And it's also not true that Jews don't convert and they don't proselytize.
Yeah.
So it's all kinds of flawed. Again, I do think you could count Jews as an ethnic group.
Yeah, I won't argue with that.
But even they're different than a lot of ethnic groups in that they take bits and pieces depending on which one you ask. But come on, Jews are all members of some kind of group.
Yeah.
Whatever we call it.
Yeah.
And they got killed for being members of that group in large numbers at one point in time.
Yes.
We live in a world in a country with Holocaust deniers.
Mm-hmm.
So how we're on Whoopi's ass about this,
Yeah.
that does just bother me and make me kind of want to do that thing where you stick up for the black person in the situation, because it feels like she's getting jumped on, maybe not unfairly, but again, there's Holocaust deniers. There's actual Holocaust deniers out there. We're not gonna act like Whoopi Goldberg is an anti-Semite for having.
There's actual Nazis on U.S. soil.
Right, waving flags and shit.
Like, you feel me?
Waving actual Nazi flags. So we're not gonna talk about whether or not Whoopi Goldberg is an anti-Semite for having one of many opinions about whether or not Jews are a race.
Yeah.
You know, if Jews can't make up their mind about it, Whoopi Goldberg is allowed to have an opinion on that.
Yeah, and she apologized right away with Kuth. So
right away, but wearing slightly different clothes, just slightly different.
Now I appreciated Whoopi's apologize, because if you ever seen a black woman apologize, that was it.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Go and watch that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because she gets through the apology professionally, but then she gets to the end and she goes, and of course I stand with my Jewish friends, which if you know me, you know that I do.
Oh man. So this was a great episode. I enjoyed it. Shout out to my homegirl Steph. She fucking said, her dumb ass, when she's smart because she's a teacher, she gonna say, y'all niggas were struggling with the math problems and it was making me upset. I thought that was hilarious.
Well,
so I gotta shout her out for that. But we be drunk.
No, you know what? Go next time you go into work, look around. Any of your coworkers that's like 20 years older than you failed us. Failed us, and now we suck at math. What are you gonna do? That's it.
All right, we out. You know, shout out to all the listeners. You know, shout out to Crack Ass James, Light Skin Waves for being an audience tonight. South Orange Stew. Leaving comments. My nigga Jay Carl leaving comments on the YouTube. Light Skin Wave leaving comments on the YouTube.
Yeah. Check us out on YouTube.
You know,
it's mostly us just sitting here talking, but you can see us doing it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's cool. It adds things sometimes. Sometimes we do gestures and shit.
Yeah. And we out.
That's right.